Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for this segment, we have Alex Kane, founder and CEO of Sporttrade. Alex, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks so much for having me, Jill.
Great. And can you start by telling us about Sporttrade, your vision, and how the idea first came to life?
Absolutely. So Sporttrade is a sports betting exchange using the central limit order book methodology. And we are a full stack exchange and brokerage in the sports betting space, and we match buyers and sellers of sports bets. The vision really came to life as I was in college and I learned about all the fantastic innovation that's happened in the last 20 years in capital markets and how that really hasn't come to sports betting yet. Sports betting was hard to understand. The price convention was difficult. The pricing was terrible. The availability of markets was very poor. So the concept was to bring capital markets principles and thinking and technology to elevate the sports betting industry. And that's fundamentally what we're doing with Sporttrade.
And you recently announced a technology agreement with Nasdaq through which you will use market surveillance technology traditionally used by exchanges in the capital markets. Elaborate on what technology partnership entails.
Yeah, so we are so excited to announce this today. Our agreement with Nasdaq to use the smarts trade surveillance technology. We're going to be the first regulated sports betting company in history to adopt this kind of financial markets grade trade surveillance. And why is it so important? Well, just like any other exchange, our marketplace places market surveillance at a premium because we put the customer first. And we want to make sure that customers feel comfortable that they're transacting in a safe, transparent, and efficient manner. Specifically for sports betting, we can use the smart surveillance technology to identify potential problem gambling, which is something we care a ton about, as well as potential abusive or nefarious trading behavior that could be happening on the platform. So we're going to be using the technology in a very similar way to the hundreds of broker dealers and exchanges that already use the Nasdaq Smarts technology.
Why is the adoption of proven exchange grade technology important for the growth of Sporttrade?
It's important because, execution quality, which is something that, I know, Jill, you talk about all the time, for retail participants in sports betting is like 50 years behind where it is in retail stock trading or retail options trading or what have you. So we're bringing exchange processes, technology, thinking, principles because we want to bring pricing, make pricing more efficient. We want to give customers a more transparent and frictionless trading and betting experience. And ultimately, we're a marketplace. We're trying to build that network effect. Customers on our platform can do a lot more than just place bets against the prevailing price like they do in a bookmaker. We're a true exchange, so you can use limit orders and things like that to improve the price that you're getting on your trade. So across the board, we're using all of that kind of thinking and technology to elevate the sports betting industry.
So interesting. So how do you foresee Sporttrade changing the industry of sports betting for its customers?
I think it goes back to that point about execution quality. Right now, there's really a couple things. If you were to try to place a sports bet right now, and let's talk about in play, and that's where the future of the industry is. In Europe, 70% of the volumes on mature sports betting venues are happening in play, which means after the game has started and before it's ended. The first is pricing. The pricing right now is really poor. Bookmakers keep around 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% of every dollar you wager. And you kind of compare that to the fee of trading stocks in today's stock market on the Nasdaq. And it's just like, two worlds apart in terms of execution quality for price. The second is availability of markets. Could you imagine if the stock market turned off every time there was volatility or every time a company released earnings? That's kind of what happens in sports betting in play. When there's a critical game on the play on the game, the sports books kind of shut down. And as single dealer platforms, they shut down the ability for all their retail participants to transact. And then the third piece is friction. So when you place a bet on some of these sports books in play, you can wait 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 seconds even for your trade to get matched or your bet to get matched. We're creating an environment where we're using capital markets principles to make that friction go away. So when you use Sporttrade as a retail participant, you could get matched immediately, even if you're trading in play. So those are the kind of 3 ways that we're attacking improving execution quality. And that's what it's all about, is elevating the industry with these principles to give customers an experience that they've come to know and love and trust in retail trading.
And Alex, to wrap up here, what can you tell us about your plans for 2021?
So we are launching this quarter, or in the fourth quarter rather, of 2021 in New Jersey. And we're poised to kind of go through the regulatory process with the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement, which is our regulator. We're going to have some more market access news shortly for everyone, and that is kind of securing our future and launching in other states. We've already done so in Colorado, and we have a couple of other states to announce there. So it's about launching the product, getting the initial feedback from our customers, and then, you know, improving the growth story with launching in other markets in 2022.
All right. I know some Jersey sports fans that will be happy about that. Alex, thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thanks so much.